Game 7's over. The Spurs take care of things. We break down what the fallout is of it next on Beyond the Locker Room. San Antonio Spurs are the Western Conference Finals champions. Victor Wembanyama is the MVP of the Western Conference, not surprising. And we get into the break. We'll break down what they did, how they did it, and we'll get into the fallout now that the Thunder and the defending champions are out. So, San Antonio, they came in, down 3-2. They took care of business at home, pretty convincingly. And then afterwards, you could see as the series was moving on, San Antonio started kind of figuring out things a lot more. And I think Victor realized, hey, I got to take it to another level if I want to get over the hump on this team. And he played, it might not have been showing up on the stats altogether, but he hit some timely shots. His defense was ridiculous, where he was everywhere covering up for any mistakes. Any guy got beaten, he was there, shadowing guys, being a presence at the rim where he was denying anything that was in his path. I think it was emblematic of a play that was in the third quarter, I believe, or fourth quarter, I think, where Wemby was hustling down, late in the fourth or midway through the fourth, where he was chugging down the court, just hauling what, to kind of, to at least get his arm partially out for a potential three-point shot. I think McCain was taking it pretty much in the corner. And, even that he challenged, coming from all the way from the half court. It was really something to behold from his end. I thought that, once again, the guards for San Antonio, everyone's talking about Castle and Harper. They've been fantastic, obviously, throughout these playoffs. But, man, I don't know how Fox became like the old man in this team, kind of. But Fox was once again fantastic late in a big game, late in a series. He's always been a clutch player from college, and he showed it right here again. Showed it again in Game 7, where in the first half he hit timely shots, calmed things down. I must admit, I was a little surprised late in the game where it was getting a little scrambly between Castle and Harper with the possessions and turnovers. Like, dude, what the heck did you get this man here for? I don't know how much, $40 million to sign him? This is what he's here for. Get the ball in his hands, because it's quite easy to see that the turnover mark, in this case throughout the series, has settled down as Fox has gotten more and more minutes in this series. Put the ball in his hands late, guys. Put the ball in his hands late. And then they did in a few possessions late where he and Wembanyama had some nice two-man action, and Fox did the right thing. He created gravity, and guys were chasing him around, which opened up an opportunity, I believe, for a mid-ranger for Champagne, who got chased off the three-point line, and lo and behold, he missed it, but Castle was right there for an easy rebound because guys were all shuffling around the place. One of the underrated parts of this game in Game 7, the offensive rebound in the second half by the San Antonio guards, specifically Harper. I thought he was fantastic off the glass. I always say that it's one thing to have heady players and all this type of stuff, but you need guys that have like some uber athleticism, because they're going to make plays that no one else expects anyone else to make. And San Antonio has a few of them on their team. And Harper was coming across from the other side of the lane, picking up, shots and just putting them off the glass in one motion. Like, that's the type of stuff we're talking about. And if you compare, the others, if you compare for Wemby and the rest of his team, how many guys can do other stuff, shoot, pass, dribble, compared to what the other side had with the OKC Thunder, and we'll get to them in a second, where shoot, pass, dribble is pretty much just shoot. There wasn't much dribbling for most of them, and passing really not their forte. But all those guys came up big. Castle, another big game player. He was fantastic as well too in this series, playing physical, playing downhill, getting up in SGA's grill, making nothing easy on those middies for him, nothing. And I must admit, props. I'll make more of his performance. I thought overall he was fantastic. Props to him on that front. He was great on that aspect of it. He hit some huge shots on that front. This gives me an opportunity to segue into the OKC side. And as I mentioned just now, SGA had done a great job of hitting some big time shots. A lot at the buzzer, shot clock going down, and he was fantastic in some of these shots. Some of the mid range shots he hit, even some of the 3-pointers he hit, were really something to behold. How he was able to find a way to keep his balance and still. Still hit key shots, and just to keep his team afloat. He found a way to do so. The shooting in this case, like he was resilient. Let's put it that way. And sadly, he didn't have a lot of help with him. It really. Besides Wallace, I thought, there's other guys that were willing, but they just couldn't meet the moment. But they're willing. Like Caruso was right there with them, but you didn't have a good shooting night. I thought McCain too was, he's ready for battle in this case. He was ready to go. But a lot of the other dudes, and we'll get into one of the biggest dudes in that sense, weren't ready for prime time. When you look at his numbers here, just to give a sense of it, let's see here, what are we looking at here? He was 12 for 21, 2 for 5 from 3, 9-11 from the free throw line. He ended up being a -7, and I take that into consideration, considering that more times than not, his minutes were being matched with Wemby's minutes for the most part. 35 points. I mean, you can't ask for your MVP for much more from that perspective. So I'm not, I've had my moments and critiques of SGA. I thought in the first half of the game he was doing a little more of the crying for calls with some of the flopping on the jump shots. The refs weren't buying it. He adjusted and just started actually shooting the ball just normally. And he hit some big time shots in the second half of the game that before they kind of keep the Thunder attached. I thought also too Wallace was just answering every call. Every time it seems like they're about to let go of the rope. Casey Wallace hit another big three. He was great. He ended up being 6 for 10. He gave you 17. 5 and 9 from 3, man. 7 boards and 4 assists and 2 steals. He, even got blocking there, so he had a fantastic game. He was only a -3. Jalen Williams, which surprisingly enough didn't seem like it, but I guess he played a lot of the bench minutes when Wemby was out. He was a +10. He gave you in this case 11 points. He had some good moments for 26 minutes, 10 boards, so he came along for the ride. Hartenstein was doing Hartenstein things. However, he was a -14, but he was usually matched up with Wemby, so that's understandable to some extent. 7 points for him, 3 for 7, 5 rebounds. Now, you notice whose name I have not mentioned. 2 guys in particular. Now, I mentioned those 2 guys would be the key at the beginning of the series and why I ended up picking the Spurs. I said Lou Dort's going to find a lot of time beside Mark Daniel. And on cue, he had pure splinters in his backside. Pure splinters. Lou Dort played 16 minutes in Game 7, 1 for 4, 1 for 3 for 3, a -9 in the short 16 minutes he played. He was pretty much a pylon out there on offense. Once he's out there, you can't have Lou Dort out. I said it at the time, you can't have Lou Dort out there when Wemby's out there. He cannot play because they're just going to shadow off of him, and and then all Wemby is just a roamer. That's it. He's not respecting him at all. So you put him in actions, anything, it doesn't matter. He's just not going to respect him, nor the rest of the Spurs. It came back to haunt them. The minutes kept getting cut as the series went on. I wasn't surprised about that. But I've left the ire for this loss for the Thunder sitting as a hot, steaming pile, on the lap of one Chet Holmgren. 33 minutes he played. 4 points. 1 of 2, 2 for 4 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 0 assists, got a couple steals and a couple blocks, a -3. I'm going to say something. That -3 in this case is real misleading because when you watch the game, this is where sometimes where scoreboards don't say what it is because you see SGA is -7 and Hartenstein is -14 and Chet's -3. You think Chet had, he held up his end of the bargain. No, man. First thing, 4 points ain't holding up your end of the bargain. When you're like an 18, 19 point per game scorer and you're an all NBA player. That ain't cutting it. And when J-Dub is sitting on the bench in street clothes, as well as the other guy was doing his best impression of J-Dub, Mitchell, you got to step up, man. You got to step up. And he and Lou Dort, guys at SGA, were looking around for to kind of help out. They're nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. That dude was shook. Wemby had that man shook. And let me tell you something. There's times he was bobbling the ball where he was cutting to the lane, where a guard, he was like SGA would drop it off for, he's bobbling the ball, and then he's coming into the lane, looking around, he's not even looking at the hoop with Wemby on him. He's like, please get this ball out of my hands. It was bad. It was bad. They didn't call him the thin man. They didn't call him the invisible man. That was, they got an issue. They got an issue. Because Chet, and we saw it last year to some extent, where Chet had some moments, but he got away with it because the matchups were just right, and they had Jay Williams there, so it was all right. They kind of, the bolster things on offensively. But you saw what happened. That if, like say SJ's in foul trouble or J-Dub's not playing, wherever the circumstance, you got to count on him to carry the load. He ain't it. And they were starting to get away with him, playing him. Even if they played two bigs, it didn't matter. Because Chet plays like a guard. I mean, they had at one point, I saw Harper out there playing him. It was like, whatever. And the fact, I mean, God bless him. At least Chet in the second half decided to reject someone's shot. I think it was Harper went out a couple of times. They were treating him with no regard. This guy was up for like second or third for DPOY, one of the best shot blockers in the league, and they were just going through. It's like, yo, we're coming. Like Castle, Harper, them dudes were just coming. Like, they didn't care he was there. It's like the utmost disrespect they had for him, man. And obviously it starts from the head of the snake. Like, Wemby obviously has no time and no respect for Chet. And the rest of the dudes says, hey, man, if the big fella's like that, we like that too, guy. No respect for Chet. And Chet gotta go. He might have to go start the monks this summer. He got to do some serious reflecting, man, because Wemby ain't going anywhere at that conference next when I see it, and there's gonna be some more dudes coming, and he got to step up. He got to go in the weight room, build up that base. Those legs are too thin. You got to find a way to at least have them legs to get stronger, so you actually have some post position, so you can post up guards, so they can't get away with him playing him like a guard. It's not good, man. It's not good. And I tell you, there's two ways the OKC can go with this. I'll leave it here because, I mean, we're going to get the Spurs Knicks in the next pod. But I'll say this. There's two ways they can go. They can go one way, which is the big way, which everyone's obviously saying. A lot of people today talking like this. Trade for Giannis. Chet's the principal going back. Draft picks, wherever the filler is. That's one possibility. Simple, straightforward, pretty clean. Get it. And SGA and Giannis, to me, is like a perfect match. With a lot of two-man stuff, you can see it happening. The other way they can go with it, and I think this is the way they are going to end up going, considering how OKC is and how patient they are, and how Presti's mindset has been for 20 years. I suspect what they're going to do is they're going to actually try to find someone, either move up in the draft or find someone in a trade or in the offseason to fill in the role of a guy that can make plays, an offensive creator, that if one of the other two, the big two, are out, or by whatever means, if it's like by foul trouble or injury, whatever, if they have another dude there that can make plays. Because right now they have a lot of dudes on that team that are just finishers. That's it. Caruso cuts the lane, makes a good layup or dunks for the most part. If he gets hot three, great. Lou Dort, same thing. Isaiah Joe just shoots threes. Casey Walls, for the most part, is a three-point shooter. He can give you a little something off the bounce every once in a while. The only guy really has really offensive creativity, and he may be that dude. Maybe his role gets expanded. Is not under a full summer and off season with OKC. Maybe it's McCain, because he has ability to kind of give you a little bit of some three-level scoring at times if he gets the right matchup. But I think they need another dude, man, because if you look at San Antonio guys, man, obviously Wemby, 3-level. Castle, 3-level. Harper, 3-level for the most part. They can make plays. They can shoot, dribble, pass. Fox, same thing. Vassell, same thing. They got guys all over the place, man. Harrison Barnes, even at his stage, can still shoot, dribble, pass. They got guys all over the place that can do it. And this team here right now has only about 3 dudes that can do that. And you thought Chet was one of them. And Chet turned into like a cheap suit. I don't know. I'll let you guys give me your comments down below what you think OKC's next move is. Anyways, guys, fantastic series. I thought it would be the best series we had in a while. It lived up to it. I said it was the best series since Houston Golden State. And that went 7 games. And lo and behold, this went 7 games as well, too. Big Vic, I'll get into him in the preview of the Knicks series in the finals. But, man, he's a man on a mission. But will it continue? We'll find out when I get to the next pod. Anyways, guys, you know where to find me. Right here. But let's first get it. You can find me on X, Instagram, Facebook, as well as Blue Sky. And you can also find me right here on YouTube. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Subscribe's always for free, guys. I appreciate the support, as always. And also check me out anywhere on those platforms. And as always, guys, be safe out there. Talk to you next time. Peace.